It also modulates reactive oxygen species, so ROSs. And ROSs have a dual role with melatonin. So in normal cells, melatonin has an antioxidant effect, which is beneficial all around. But then in cancer cells, it has a pro-oxidant effect. So it protects your normal cells and it seems to harm or injure the cancer cells. That's pretty cool. There's not very many things that do that.
All right, you guys, welcome back to our show. I'm here with Dr. Haggard, and we are going to be talking about melatonin today. So, doctor, how's it going, my man?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready to go to the beach after this. That's why I'm in my Baywatch gear.
What do you know about melatonin?
I know it just helps you go to sleep. I've taken it once, and I hated it.
What didn't you like about it?
It didn't work.
Okay, so you didn't notice anything?
No.
Not bad, not good?
No.
Just no difference?
No.
Yeah, so melatonin is the hormone that's produced in your brain, specifically your pineal gland, and it helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle, also known as your circadian rhythm cycle. And so your body naturally makes it. The nice thing about taking melatonin, if you are going to supplement it, is you're not adding anything new to your body. You're simply just adding more of something that's naturally occurring.
So you recommend melatonin for people?
It depends who you're talking about specifically, but overall, yeah, it seems like a pretty useful thing. It's also absolutely dose dependent. So most people know about melatonin because of this effect it has on your sleep, right? Especially if you have trouble sleeping, that delayed sleep, like it just takes you a long time to get to sleep. Melatonin's been studied for decades for that improvement. But what a lot of people don't know is it's also super effective in jet lag.
Okay.
So when you're traveling eastward, especially, when you get there, when the sun goes down, that's when you take it, and it really makes a difference for a lot of people for jet lag.
What about just in the plane alone? Because if you have like a 13-hour flight, can you take melatonin to just go to bed?
If you take it too soon, it doesn't seem to help and actually can make your jet lag worse. So you want to time it right.
Interesting. Okay. Can you take it on an empty stomach? Because I know a lot of things you can't.
Yeah, this usually doesn't have any effect. The most important part of taking it is the timing, because your body naturally produces it in response to darkness. So especially if you're going to take it to kind of reset things, that's critical. You want to take it right when the sun goes down, especially like if you're in another location geographically, like another state or country or whatever, and you're swapping time zones. That's where it can really have a benefit for the jet lag effect.
Okay. All right. So like, when would you recommend, like, so say, okay, I just had dinner. It's 7 o'clock now and I'm ready to go to sleep. Would I take it right then and there?
Yeah, you take it when the sun goes down.
Right when the sun goes down, even if you're not tired?
Yeah. That's when you take it, because that's what your body naturally starts making it. Now, there's also a difference between the different types of melatonin, and we're going to talk about that shortly.
Okay.
But where this whole thing got interesting to me was they started looking at these observational studies of people, and epidemiological studies, where they just keeping track of people and cancer rates. And it seemed that shift workers have higher rates of cancer. And so then researchers started asking, well, yeah, they're awake at night, so maybe they're not getting the benefits that melatonin would provide if there is an anti-cancer benefit. So then they started doing research on cancer risks, shift workers, melatonin production, and then actually giving melatonin. The problem is they haven't done a lot of studies on the prevention, but when they do some in vitro stuff just to get started, basically petri dishes and not in people, but an in vitro study, then they started looking at cancer cell lines in response to melatonin. And melatonin suppresses cancer growth. So it inhibits the development of cancer if it hasn't even started to occur, but in high risk cells.
That's really cool. So I'm taking it then.
When you look at the actual studies, melatonin suppresses cell invasion and that's how it kind of suppresses the cancer growth overall. But
So
basically in a petri dish, melatonin has been touted as the all-around anti-cancer agent. It prevents growth of cancer before it actually develops in high-risk cell lines.
Is it in any part of your body though? Like all over your body? Like, 'cause, you know,
Because
you could get skin cancer, you could get, you know, like breast cancer, you could get all these different cancers. So if you take melatonin before that, it'll prevent you from getting it all over your body, or just...
According to the cell line in vitro studies, evidence suggests that that is exactly the case. So
That
it
is
also
awesome.
shows that it reduces tumor sizes in most of the cell lines that were studied, and it even slows down or stops the growth or the metastasis of actual cancer.
So if like basically you know your family tree has cancer all the way down to you, and if you know that you might be getting it, you would highly recommend someone to take it before that happens.
Yeah, why not? I mean, there are a couple side effects of melatonin.
What are those?
Most people, if they're taking like 1 to 10 milligrams, they don't normally get these side effects. But some of the side effects is you wake up a little groggy because it has that sleeping effect on you.
Okay.
And if you do, melatonin is also sunlight deactivated. So if you ever take melatonin, you wake up groggy, you just go out in the sun for 5 or 10 minutes, have some tea or coffee or something in the sun, and usually it'll burn it off.
Yeah, not that you believe that, I'm sure, but I promise I am. But yeah, that's interesting.
So there's one other effect that's
Let me see.
that they found in like doing the petri dishes or cell line studies, is it also modulates reactive oxygen species, so ROSs. And ROSs have a dual role with melatonin. So in normal cells, melatonin has an antioxidant effect, which is beneficial all around. But then in cancer cells, it has a pro-oxidant effect. So it protects your normal cells, and it seems to harm or injure the cancer cells. That's pretty cool. There's not very many things that do that. So they call that it's not an ROS or reactive oxygen species decreaser. They call it a modulator because it can do both.
Now, is this something that you can get prescribed, or can you buy it over the counter?
It's over the counter in the US. In other countries, in Europe and Australia, depending on the dosage, it can be prescription.
Okay,
So-
now if like you wanted to know what's a dosage, like for example, me, I've never really taken it. I've taken it once, didn't work, was over it. What would you recommend for someone who doesn't know about like percentages and grades and like how much to take or milligrams to take? Like what would I want to take?
So on average, you see 1 to 10 milligrams being sold.
Okay.
That's a very common dosage range. And when I was looking at all this cancer research, though, then I started looking at the trials they were using, and they were using 20 milligrams most commonly, but then other trials showed better results with 50 milligrams or more. And other trials even have tried like 1,000 milligrams or more.
Wow.
And it's interesting because after a certain amount, seems to be around like 100 to 200 milligrams, you don't get more sleepy or sleepier. It doesn't have that effect. It starts to have more anti-inflammatory effects, the reactive oxygen species modulation, and all these other kind of like metabolic benefits, not so much just make you sleepy. And that's where I said, a lot of people don't know about that. So when looking at some of these cancer research articles, and they haven't done a lot of prevention articles, but they have treated cancers with melatonin pretty successfully. They've shown, like in one study, they had a 1-year survival. They did a meta-analysis, systemic review of multiple studies, and they showed on average, patients that took melatonin had better quality of life while going through cancer, whether they did other treatments or no treatments.
Okay, so now I have a question. So like when like say you like for example testosterone, when you take it and then you stop taking it, your body doesn't produce it as quickly as it used to. Is that the same with melatonin?
No, that part hasn't been observed.
Okay, that part hasn't been observed with melatonin.
So you can
yet?
take it on and off and you don't have issues.
Because I know if your body naturally creates melatonin and you take a whole bunch of it, will your body stop producing it now that your body depends on you just taking it?
No, but you can possibly get used to it. And then also some of your receptors might get saturated if you're taking really big doses.
Okay.
But for the most part, what we're going to talk about shouldn't cause people that problem or that effect.
Okay, perfect.
So when I was doing all this anti-cancer research on melatonin, I was pretty intrigued by it. So I have one of the other common side effects of melatonin. When I take it, and I'm talking like 10 milligrams, I wake up mentally exhausted. It seems to enhance my dreams. So my dreams feel very vivid when I take melatonin. And after doing some research on that, if you add a sustained release agent to it, then it seems to act more like how your body would naturally produce it. And the other thing too is as we age, we produce less and less melatonin.
Which is why you need to take it when you're older. So you'd recommend like older people taking it than younger?
Well, in Europe, it's like approved through their medical systems for people 55 and up.
Okay, I'm
So I mean,
getting
it's kind of across the board. So I mean, like a lot of people benefit. And I mean, clearly there's an age reduction with it. But
Does
you don't
it
have
help
to wait.
you live longer?
It seems like it might have that effect because again, the antioxidant part, the reactive oxygen species part, and then again, all the cell line studies showing that it seems to prevent cancer development, slow cancer growth. I mean, I still see a lot of downside to it, but you know, you might get a little groggy or you might have this vivid dream side effect. So when I tried the actual sustained release version, I didn't have that vivid dream side effect at all. I woke up feeling great, refreshed.
I love having dreams though. Dreams are great.
Yeah, but the vivid dream thing is not very fun.
No, it's not?
It's not.
Okay, just
Because
kidding.
it's like I wake up feeling like, man, I just had an intense, almost nightmarish.
Oh, it's like that. It's like when those
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, not
okay.
necessarily like gave me nightmares, but just that intensity was there. And then I'd wake up and trying to start my day and I can't stop thinking about the dreams I had all night.
Oh, geez. All right.
And then when I was doing all of this research on the cancer stuff and I wanted to try it, I thought, man, I wonder if I could take this as a preventative. And then at the time I had just been into a knee injury for like a month and I hadn't been able to sleep for a month because every time I would turn over, even just like a slight amount, my knee was really inflamed and swollen, but it would wake me up just from the pain in my knee. I had like a sharp pain. And then it had been a month and I was still having this issue, but I noticed when I took the melatonin, I slept through the night. And I thought, you know, nobody talks about that. But I think high dose melatonin can also be a pain product for people who have difficulty sleeping because of pain. And I haven't been able to find any articles on this in the scientific literature, but I have given it to a lot of people since then that have pain or problems sleeping. Seems to help overall. So that's another thing that I don't think a lot of people know about melatonin.
Interesting. All right. Okay. What forms can you take it in? I know you could take it in pill form. I know you could take it. Can you inject it? Do you take it in gummies?
You can inject it. You can also take it in gummies. You could take it in
IVs?
lozenges that go under your tongue. They have done IV melatonin.
Okay.
So there are those treatments. I mean, most of the time it's studied for cancer.
So overall with melatonin, we would say it's a total yay than nay.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see that much of a problem with it if you get the right dosage form. The sustained release agent seems to be the way to go, I think, when you're doing anything over 10 milligrams, or if you have that vivid dream side effect, even at lower doses, you can find sustained release agents, and they sell these everywhere, you know, online, most health food stores, even pharmacies carry them across the US. And I think that taking the sustained release agent is going to prevent that. If you don't have the issue, you could take the fast acting if you wanted, but I think the sustained release agent seems to mimic, if you look at the graphs they do that show how much is in your blood after you take it, a dose, and the sustained release agent seems to mimic your natural production more than the non-sustained release agents or the fast acting. So I think that doing melatonin, most people do capsules or tablets with that. Seems to work out pretty good. I've never really tried the lozenges, but I have tried the injection. I actually made it once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought I made it as an IV form for research purposes, and then one of the guys I worked with, he said, hey, do you think it would hurt to inject it like sub-Q? He said, because what are you people going to do? Come and get an IV and like we'll have like a driver. Like they're not going to be able to drive home.
Right?
So I said, you know, I don't know. Let me try a little bit. And so I tried a little bit, you know, did a sub-Q injection in my stomach. And then I thought, no, yeah, that didn't burn much at all. And I only did like 1 milligram.
Yeah.
But then about 15, 20 minutes later, I got really sleepy. Like it definitely worked. It definitely kicked in really fast. So yeah, it'd be interesting to experiment more with it. But I'm a huge fan. I love the extended release. I do 50 milligram capsules, and I take...
You take them daily?
2. I take it usually around 3 to 4 days a week for cancer prevention. And when I take it, I usually have a little bit better night's sleep on the days I take it. So in summary, melatonin can be good for people that have a difficult time getting a good night's rest, especially if it's delayed sleeping issues. It also can be helpful for jet lag. It can be possibly helpful in cancer prevention, treatment for tumor sizes or metastasis. And then last, again, in my experience, it can be helpful for going through pain, especially acute pain, or even chronic pain, because I think, having a good night's sleep helps you when you have a lot of pain.
So in conclusion, melatonin is a yay, not an A.
Follow my podcast on drjessehaggard.com.